So we're pretty confident now that the getAngle method is performing as expected. So let's go ahead and put it to use in making the fly towards a random point on the screen. The first thing I'm going to do is add a utility method in the fly class called getAngleToPoint. And what this is going to do is find the angle between the fly's current location and the point that we pass in as an argument. We can do that by just delegating to the getAngle method in the geometry class and populating that first argument with the fly's location. What did I call that second argument? Point. So this should find the angle between the fly's current location and this argument point. You'll notice this is complaining because the current type of location is an array of ints, not doubles. So we should update that, and we'll need to do that anyway because the fly's location is not going to increment in integer amounts each time now that we're moving at an angle. So this should be a double anyway. Go ahead and update all the places that need to be updated. And set location, remember this is an argument on this is a method on the JDialog class. This expects 2 ints. So we'll have to convert the location to an int. We could just cast it to an int, and that's going to truncate it. So just round down all the time. But if we want smoother motion, it might be better to actually round this thing. So say if the location is 1.6, we would actually go up to 2, the second pixel on the screen, rather than 1, which is what truncating would get you. So this will just be a little bit smoother motion. All right, so the location is now specified as doubles instead of ints, so this is no longer complaining. All right, so we said what we want to do is find the angle between the fly's current location and the destination. Let's call that angle to destination. So the point that we're getting the angle to is the destination. And remember that we had set the destination to a random position in the last video. All right, and we said to update the x-coordinate, we take the velocity and we multiply it by the cosine of that angle. And for the y-coordinate, we basically do the same thing, except instead of the cosine, it's the sine. And that's all there is to it. That's how we update the x and y coordinates. We get the angle from the fly's current position to the destination, and then we do these for the updates as explained in one of the earlier videos. Actually, one more thing that we should do is instead of this plus sign, we want a minus sign. And again, this is another example of where Java's weird coordinate system is creeping back up on us. Remember, if we want the fly to move from the top of the screen to the bottom of the screen, we actually want to increase the y-coordinate. If we want to go from the bottom to the top, we want to decrease the y-coordinate. So this negative sign is just to account for that behavior. We should also remove this case here. It's not going to do anything because we're not using the direction variable anymore, but we also just don't need it, so I'll clean that up. All right, let's see if this actually works. So the destination is 385,803, and yeah, the fly flew there. And note what's happening. We didn't tell the fly to stop, but the fly has somehow stopped. And if you look closely, you can see it actually looks like it's vibrating. That's because it's overshooting the destination. Then the angle to the destination is in the other direction, so it's turning around and flying back towards the destination. And it overshoots it again, turns back around. It's just going back and forth, and it's constantly updating the direction it needs to travel in to reach that destination. So it doesn't actually know it's reached the destination. It just knows the destination is in a different direction, and it's changing course and flying towards it. Let's try another one. 859, 841. So basically a diagonal line. Yeah, that's what it did. We'll do one more just because it's fun to watch this thing fly. There we go. That one's more horizontal. 1200, 300. Yeah, So now we have the fly flying towards a random position on the screen, making real progress here.